from the MCPLive.tv studios, located in downtown Conroe. It's the Conroe Art League, live.
Hello, and welcome to Cal Live, the show that introduces you one by one to the artists of the Conroe Art League. My name is Jennifer Clausen, and I am pleased to be your host this afternoon. Today, I am speaking with Cal artist Carolina Dalmas. Welcome, and thank you for taking the time to share your story and your art on Cal Live.
A pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
We love to have our artist come and visit with us and just give us a little more information that we're typically never exposed to. So here we go. Carolina, where are you from?
I'm originally from Argentina. I was born in a small country town, rural area, and so I grew up very freely and surrounded by nature, and that's what inspires me in my themes when I'm painting.
That's fantastic. So did you find yourself wanting to be out in nature or draw or paint nature as a child?
Well, mainly at that time, nature was part of my every weekend. We went to my grandfather's little farm, and it was like so idyllic because there were no dangers. So just explore with whatever and eat very tasty fruit right from the tree. So that's what I now paint. Fruits and vegetables, but I started learning art when I was 7 years old. My mom took me to a local art academy, and I did that until I was out of college.
Oh, my.
Out to college. Mm-hmm. And every year there, so I grew up learning all the mediums and the basic of drawing and painting, and that is where I really love and enjoy that. When it was time to go to college, I decided to go for a scientific career. So for a while, I didn't do anything of art because lack of time. But life brings you different things. I moved to America, and art was what connects me again with something to do and to explore. While I was here for a while with my kids, but we decided to stay. So, I took some classes and started teaching classes, painting murals, started a business with murals. But fine art was always what I really love. When you paint a mural for a client as much as you can, and the dimension is they're very big. You are painting for a client. It's like having a commission. So when I paint what I feel and love, it's a different story for me, right?
Sure.
The connection is different.
It certainly seems like you brought some of your home to the U.S. with you in regards to the fruits and the vegetables, your artistic background.
Flowers, I have a strong connection with flowers, and because my mom too, my whole family is still there, but she loves flowers. She's an excellent gardener. And I learned from her to do that too. Mm-hmm. So I find in the flowers and also the fruit the richness of the vibrant colors and the texture, but also all the elements of the design, shapes, lines, mm-hmm. color. So that's what I apply on my paintings.
That makes a lot of sense. So those are the subjects that inspire you the most. Do you follow any particular artist, present day or historical, that influenced you?
Well, as growing up, I remember my teacher telling me, art teacher, stories about Michelangelo, and she was a nun, but she was telling the part that his grumpiness with the Pope and one he painted. But so I admire him. He hasn't painted a lot. He was a sculptor and he loved sculpturing. Mm-hmm. So he painted the Sixtine Chapel ceiling that nowadays is one of the wonders of the world.
Sure.
Just to have the favor of the Pope to make his tomb. Yes? So imagine that he was not a painter. I mean, he was trained, of course, at that age. At that time, people were trained as a holistic artist. But I love Impressionists and Expressionists. That's why Van Gogh is Impressionist, and the expression in the texture of his strokes and the vibrant colors. And I like his story. In some way, a lot of people think it's sad, but I've read a lot, and even sad with his illness, mental illness. He was a great human being, and with a lot of love and passion, and I can feel that towards nature. You cannot paint or express that if you don't appreciate a small flower, and that's what I say. Fruit and vegetables will, it's if we appreciate something small and simple.
Yeah, the ordinary.
So, and every day be surprised by small things. When nothing surprises us, okay, we are ready to leave this planet. So, find the beauty in the simple things of life.
That's fantastic. And have you taken any workshops along your art career?
I've taken a lot, and I love that because I teach classes and paint murals and scaffolding just to pay for workshop and art materials. I don't go to the mall. I go to my art store.
Okay.
and to the nursery. Okay. So I took several. One really shaped me because it's Vaidun Har. And she has a different way of saying things, and she said a lot of things that really inspired me. She's not. She said, I usually take watercolor workshops because they tend to think out of the box.
Okay.
And she's not painting. She used to paint oils and now acrylic, but something different out of her comfort zone. So that helped her to try things, new things, and I try to do that every time I go to a workshop, even though it's not my comfort zone. I'm going there to find something interesting, different, to incorporate maybe or not. Maybe it doesn't feel me, but always something shape my work after that. And by she start with an abstraction, find a magazine and say where I want to be today. Okay, go through magazines and find one, start with inspiring with the elements of the design. Usually it's an architectural magazine because the composition itself is well balanced there. So, and then after that, go through all her references and say, oh, today I'm going to paint this flower because she's a flower painter, and incorporate something of that under painting and elements into her flower. So it's going to be a totally different flower with unexpected areas coming through, be more transparent, showing so she really shaped me to see it differently. Also, I started learning about color and investigating and searching, and I find the Henry Henshey in the Cape Cod School of Art. So he tried to find a way to paint light. In some way, Matisse or Monet did that. The same hay starch in different kind of, but Henry Henshey designed a way. And when I was reading that, a friend asked me, do you want to come over here in Huntsville to this workshop? And I look at the artist, and I had her book, and it was a pupil of this School of Art, Henry Henshey. So it works and it's how to build color to create light and vibrancy.
Okay.
So I took a few of those pieces and started incorporating. So my work evolved to a more chiaroscuro, using more black to use a more expressionist, more colors and combination of colors, and maybe not physically blending them, but optically.
Yes.
Like a puntillismo, but it's not, but certain areas. So you see the vibrancy.
Yes, it's interesting that you use Michelangelo and Van Gogh because that is chiaroscuro to expressionism.
Yeah,
and then you've even found a way to marry some of these newer artists that have those styles to layer your art and to give it more depth and dimension. I think as an artist, you definitely lose out on not experimenting or pushing yourself and making yourself uncomfortable.
Making a lot of unuseful canvases, but it's part. I mean, in some ways, it's not unuseful because it helps you to grow, and that's what I'm always telling my students when they're taking my classes of workshop. Give you a chance to try something new.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so. I know it's difficult to go out of that comfort zone, but try something new. If we cannot play on risk with paint or pastels or a piece of paper that we can throw away, what we can do. So this is the best way to go off you.
It's a very little investment to
well, not because
risk.
as human beings, and especially grow up, we have our comfort zone, and we want to be there. We don't want. It's like for me, for instance, when I enter competitions that I've been entering for years. Most of the time you receive a no, and that is discouraging. I say, but okay, I need what I need to improve. And if I never try, how do I know? Yes,
that's very true. So you've been judged then in shows and you've entered competitions. Is that correct?
Yes, not all of them, but lately, I think because I've been. Working a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, putting some paint and texture or whatever sometimes works. I develop my own style and I feel more comfortable. And I think because it's something different, especially with the pastels lately, I've been doing that. Just adding texture, actual texture,
mm-hmm.
plus the explicit texture. I think the judges or the people start to noticing something different. Sometimes I think the judge looks for something unique or different, and I have to have a strong composition, light and color, of course. So last year I was honored to be in the Pastel 100 competition from the Pastel Journal magazine. This is the 23rd edition, and the big names are there. So mine is just an honorable mention, but it's part of that 100 of the year.
Sure.
So I'm humbly happy to say that somebody noticed my work and baby step that helped me to keep on going. And also there's a wonderful pastels have grown so much through the years.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a child, we have canson paper and my precious pastels. But then when I came back to America, I went in Austin to take some classes with pastel again. I had that time. I was not studying science or working. And I have small kids, but so I reconnect with that. And this lady taught us to do, UART was at that time one of the papers that was available, but to create our own ground, our own surface,
okay.
Right? But right now, 20 years after, there's a shop, there's a lot, but there's one that is specialized only on pastels. So it's Disneyland for a pastel artist.
Do you want to share that shop with possible pastel lovers?
Yes, it's, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, Dakota?
Yes, Dakota.
Pastel, and I think it's in Washington North, but they have an amazing service. If you have a question, they have a lot of tools, comparison different brands and hardness, because pastel can be hard, medium, or soft.
And what are the differences of those?
What I love of the pastel is that pastel is pure pigment on a stick, I can say, okay? Pure pigment if it doesn't have white. But so that's why the colors are so vibrant. The more binding they have, the harder they are.
Okay.
And these that I call jewels or candy, the pure color without alterations. And usually they are very crumble and expensive. But those are the very soft. I usually start painting with hard pastels, medium, and layering. And the tooth, with all these surfaces and the ones that I create too, adding pastel ground, the golden pastel ground, and creating furrows and crevices, so it creates even more layers that I can add. But if you start with a very soft pastel and then add this hard one, you're gonna be blending instead of adding in layers.
Okay,
So,
that makes a lot of sense. And so you have been a member of Conroe Art League for some time, I gather.
I've renewed my membership last year, but I've been before a member, and I also took some wonderful workshops here in the past,
Okay.
maybe years ago. Yes.
And is your art on display at Conroe Art League?
And not this month, because I did enter that competition and didn't want that one. What I was saying, that Dakota Pastel has an annual competition, and one of my paintings won also 5th place, but I'm honored to have that too. So, but this, I wasn't accepted to this one, the international great show that the Conroe Art League, but next week I'm gonna present a few to show.
And where will that be?
Oh, right now, not on Cal. I thought you mentioned Cal.
No, that's okay. Both.
So a show is coming. It's all women's, and it's gonna be in Texas Art Museum. They have 2 locations, one in Sugar Land and one in Cinco-Ranch.
Okay, that'll be exciting.
Yeah, and one of my pastels also are in a small town,
Fayetteville?
Fayetteville, with the members only show for the Pastel Society of Southeast Texas.
Okay. Is there a gallery there, the red and blue? Is that the one?
Well, actually, that's there's one gallery, but this one is from art from rural Texas.
Okay.
And they're trying to. It's a very cute little old town, and they're trying to create an art hub. So it's very, very nice idea.
I visited. I recommend
I
anyone
drop
going.
mine, and I think it's very interesting.
That's
Yes.
fantastic. And I don't know if you'd be interested in sharing some of your art with us. I think we'll go ahead and look at some of your images.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, this one, I say rabanitos in Spanish, but it's radishes. And I started painting this, I call them square botanicals, because just by accident I realized that there's some 12 by 12 watercolor paper or acrylic paper that I can add texture to it. So, and here you can see the texture, and I visited some friends in Victoria, Canada, and suddenly I go a lot to farmers market, but this one, the display was amazing, so I started taking pictures. And when I came home, I started doing 1, 2, and I call them botanicals, not in the botanical old traditional way. Is because sometimes I'm focusing one flower or one vegetable. It's a close-up. It's different when I do still life that I love to do too, to incorporate them in the still life. And now I'm gonna be teaching in Conroe Art League a workshop about painting one of these vegetables or fruits step by step, from drawing, composition, color, negative space and texture and vibrancy and everything in 2 days. And it's Sunday and Saturday. So for
Do you
those
know
who
the
work-
dates off the top
Yes,
of your head?
April 23rd and 24th, maybe. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. Yes, so it's Sunday, Saturday. So, and we're gonna experiment. Maybe the first day we will step by step the way I do it. Not everybody is gonna be following me. I like everybody to have a connection with whatever they paint, right?
Okay.
But step by step, and even how I build that texture on the surface too.
I have seen the detail of that work, and it's surprising how much texture there is to it.
Yes,
You
it
do.
makes things a little bit more challenging, but it's so much fun.
Yes.
And yes.
Shall we go to the next one?
Well, that is totally different. It's also flowers. They are Americalis or daylilies. Once a client, I used to paint murals, not anymore, but a client asked me for a very contemporary tulips, blue, oranges, and a gigantic on a wall. She was remodeling her house and adding some botanical leaves and flowers in neutral colors, gray and black. So I love it so much that I came home and I have this big canvas. This is 48 by 72.
Oh, that
Yes,
is large.
It's big, yes. So, and then I added weeds that in some way we oversee the paths, we don't, but they can be beautiful too. Not in my garden.
Yeah, not in my vegetable garden, but they are
the
beautiful.
leaves, the seeds, so I incorporate them in also a monochromatic and kind of a gray shade and black. So, and I have 3 of them, a triptych. They are not the same size, but they can go together or by itself in each side, and also has different dimension. Of course, the height is the same, but the other dimensions are different. So
That's fantastic. And we will move to the third one.
okay, here you can see all the textures, all those grooves and furrows. So this one was the one that won for the Dakota Pastel competition or contest, and I like the difference between the vibrancy of that orange, is that blood oranges, and then the peel as it turns, the white part that has a specific name. And
The rind, yes.
yes, so it turns, that is white, but it can start turning and getting some purples and different colors, and that's what I like. I've done like 3 of those.
Mhm.
I already sold that one, but I have another one, and grapefruit too,
Okay.
from my mom's garden when I was visiting in Argentina this
well.
summer.
Yeah, got to paint one of those. So it looks like you do texture on the paper. What sort of texture are you doing in
Yes,
this one?
I think this is acrylic paper, 12 by 12, and then I'm adding Golden, the brand, pastel ground, and you
Okay.
can buy it with the different coarse or fine. Coarse is a little bit more challenging. This is the fine one, and then I grab kind of a spatula, but also this kind of tools. They are flexible and has like teeth, and go over and create. So that is the part that I do with without thinking. I put music and play. I'm not thinking even in the subject I'm putting over. I let that then be part, as I say with my first workshop, be part of my composition at the end, and incorporating something unexpected.
Sure.
So it's an orange, but it has things unexpected.
It does, and the contrasting background, which is its complementary color, really makes it
that's
pop.
true. That's true. That's what the judge of the composition, say, and then I was even the top left side. You see that is a little bit warmer, and she even noticed that. I said that was very good. So, but I love to work a lot with complementaries in a way that still can be harmonious.
Yes,
but I work
certainly.
a lot.
It's not jarring at all.
Yeah, I like to create a statement, but also to feel.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm sure several people are looking forward to taking your workshop after such a colorful explanation and such colorful examples. Let's see. So if anyone wants to look at your work or contact you for, say, a commission or possibly a class, they can go to the Conroe Art League website or your
and
website.
My website is Carolina Dalmas Art, and it's my name. So do you need to spell it?
Sure.
Carolina and D as in David, ALMAS art.com. So that's my website, and there you can contact me, but I'm happy to, if you want to call me, 832-567-0685. And my Instagram account is Carolina Dalmas Art, and my Facebook, Carolina Dalmas Artist. And in the past, I'm gonna add that to my website. I had open studio and tea on coffee, so you can come over and visit me. We can talk about art, and I can show you all my paintings, my displays of pastels, my big studio for painting. So now that the weather is beautiful, usually we can have tea in my garden. That is my inspiration. So
There
I can
you
add
go.
that in my website, but contact me. Feel free to contact me. I'm happy to answer any questions or give you any tips.
Thank you, Carolina.
Thank you.
To
Pleasure.
see more of Carolina's work, as well as the work of the other member artists at the Conroe Art League, please visit us at the Best Little Art Gallery in historic downtown Conroe. We are located at 127 Simonton Street and open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Join us at the gallery where we live by our creed: create, appreciate, learn.